Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's or this month's episode of Solutions Brewing Podcast. We haven't done one for a while. Not apologizing, just saying that we didn't really feel like we had anything to talk about, so we didn't record anything.
Yeah, it's been a fairly quiet month, but now we got something to talk about. Because what did we do this weekend? What was going on?
We actually did an event this time.
We did. And what was that event, Rob?
I don't want to tell you.
You don't want to tell me? Okay. Well, for Brendan, do you remember what event we did?
Calgary Beerfest.
There we go. And on cue. There we go. Good.
There you go.
Back there. Yeah, it was our return to our. I think Calgary Beerfest was the first festival we ever did. I think. Yeah.
Yep.
And so this is number 4, where we were back again, and we were in excellent positioning this year. I think being a solid supporter of the Calgary Beerfest, we were finally rewarded with optimal placement in the arrangement, because we were in row 5, so a nice just off center kind of alignment, and as a result, I think this was the busiest show we've had, even more than that one that the three of us worked like 2 years ago.
It was a good show. I don't know if it was. I think that last year's show was a little bit busier for us. But either way, it was a good show. I don't know. It was a good spot. We've never had a bad Calgary show. Like, we've had poor placement at the Edmonton shows, but Calgary's always been pretty good. And Calgary's a more open venue anyway.
I think the first year when we were on the far side in like row 10, I think that was probably our worst placement that we've ever had.
Yeah, and even then that was fine for us.
Even then, like the Calgary, like the BMO at least is nice wide open center.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas the Edmonton Expo Center, there's like a big fucking wall in the middle.
Yeah, it's literally a big physical separation, which doesn't help if you're on the second side. But I don't know, like we'll talk about Friday first, but I think it was at least I feel like it was busier than like a couple years ago we did. And what the problem with what we had on Saturday was we had trouble getting tickets into the box.
Well, that's a first.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I think it might be a more busy and successful show. But,
yeah, so I suppose we'll wait for the final numbers to come out. They might have just given us a smaller box. That's also fun.
That would be pretty funny. Here's your mini box.
But yeah, let's start on Friday. So, Rob, like I know I wasn't there in time, but how was setup this year?
Yeah, you son of a bitch.
I know. I'm super bad. I didn't have a vehicle.
Whose fault is that?
Shitty Japanese engineering.
Wow. This is the guy that buys a car with a seized engine. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, no. So that's the reason why I didn't have a car was originally my Nissan. But yeah, then I bought a seized engine. That's a Korean car. It is running now, though. I'm on the road in a manual, which has been hilarious because I've been relearning how to drive stick.
All right. Well, good. Well, I'm glad you're.
Anyway, how was loading
wheels again? Load-in was honestly pretty easy. It's way easier with like our current setup, the way we have things. I actually kind of lucked out because we were bringing in a keg this time. So I took the dolly from our shop, decided to grab the keg, and then because we didn't schedule, you can schedule a load-in time, but I'm like, whatever, we don't have that much stuff to carry across anyway, so just park in the regular lot and carry everything over. I got lucky because I was able to grab that dolly with the keg, drop it off in the reefer truck, and then like right beside it there were some like those flatbed dollies.
Oh yeah.
I was like, score. There was like, it's not like there was one, there was like 6 or 7 of them, so there's tons. I'm like, perfect. Grab one of those, walked out there because I was able to do everything in 2 trips. I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. No, especially since like we don't have the fridge anymore, and we've got like the really small promotional banners and stuff. Like the volume of stuff we're bringing to the booth now is so much less than it used to be. It's so nice.
Yeah, and I'm able to fit everything in my car, right? Or my SUV, so I put the back seats down, so everything's nice and flat, and then I was able to load everything up, no problem.
Yeah.
So, easy peasy.
Yeah, and then like the Friday show, like when we started and all that, like we we went through more ice than we did on the second day for sure, because all those beers, while they were slightly chilled, they weren't cold. So yeah, just like trying to dump out the water at the end of the night from those. But we did really good numbers. Like we were fairly busy like most of that Friday.
It was pretty steady. Yeah, usually you get the waves, like you get like a really peak time, then you get kind of down, and that kind of was there, but it wasn't as extreme.
Yeah. It like it had a good flow, and yeah, it was definitely more consistent than we had at like the Edmonton show. Because I remember on the Friday in Edmonton, like it had a super slow start, and then it like kind of picked up, whereas Calgary was busier quicker. Like there was the initial like VIPs that came in, and there was a few people that came around. That was fine, but then it went like really like consistent, which was nice. Yeah. But I was going to say Friday was nothing compared to Saturday. So we did have Tila on your sister on the on the Saturday. I still have her glasses, by the way. I've been. What I've got to get them up. Actually, I think I'll just go by her house when I drop off Simon tomorrow. I think I'll just drop by and drop off her glasses. Because I just remembered, I'm like, oh yeah, she's like really close to me. But
that's right. Yeah, she is too.
Yeah, she is. So Saturday afternoon, like me and Brendan were working it with her, but like it was busy. Like it was like for a Saturday afternoon show, like basically there was a few like little breaks that we had that we were able to like, go restock something or go grab something. But one person was almost always pouring. And then since we had three, like someone could talk or, chat with someone else, but I found it was a very consistent flow on that afternoon show.
Yeah. Saturday afternoon was steady. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Still nice having three in the booth because I got to walk around and actually see some other you were around and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, you were able to wander.
There was a new brewery there, Manual Labor Brewing.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't run into them before. I had their red. It was okay. Ran into the Stony Slope guy who was also going to wander around and all that sort of stuff. So he said things are still going good at his shop, and that was good to see. And they had food at their booth this year, not just the beers. So that was also kind of interesting to see.
Is their location open yet?
Stony Slope?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, their tap room's been open for a little bit. We were talking about going and doing a recording there, right?
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a while, but haven't actually gotten to that point or anything like that.
Right, isn't it?
No.
That's Goose Bay.
You're thinking Goose Bay, yeah.
Oh. No, Stony Slope. It's off Elbow Drive in Calgary, in the southwest.
Okay.
So it's down just past Chinook.
Oh.
Which is super close to me. That's like a 10-minute drive. If that.
Yep. So that was cool to see. But yeah, definitely kind of a steady flow of traffic throughout. And
yeah.
Very interesting, though, on Friday or on Saturday afternoon, there wasn't that huge rush of people right at the end trying to ditch all their tickets and all that sort of stuff. There were a couple, but I mean, you get, I think we had 4 or 5, and then they ran around and closed us down.
Yeah.
And it was just like, all right, whatever, and moved on. It wasn't this kind of like, hey, I got 2 tickets. Can you give me a full can?
Yeah, that the ABF people were very fast, both on the Friday and then Saturday. Like it was a couple minutes after 9:45 that we had someone come by on Friday, I remember, and be like, all right, that's it. And we're like, okay, that's fine. And the same thing on Saturday afternoon. But not so on Saturday night. Not so. But before we do that, they had the lunch offer again of Spalumbos.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, like they had like 8 different kinds of sandwiches this year. It was awesome. Like they had like their standard like Genoa salami and like ham and Swiss and smoked meat, but like we got there because the line was massive, so we went to 9 for 8 for a second and just like hung out and had a couple beers there and shot the shit for a little bit. But when we got up there, like the original list like had 8 or 9 sandwiches on, and 3 or 4 were already crossed off. And so we were just like, okay, like we'll take one. But there were so many sandwiches left over that I had 2, your sister had 2, and Brendan had 4.
I really hadn't eaten that day yet.
So like these were half sandwiches. So
okay. So that's really 2 sandwiches.
So Brendan had 2 like regular Subway sized sandwiches.
Well, Spalumbo size. Let's...
Well, there's Spalumbos, but yeah, it's like the basics, like a 5 or 6 inch or whatever. So Brendan had 20 to 24 inches of sandwich.
How many linear inches of sandwich have you had today?
Me, I've had 4 inches of linear sandwich.
Sounds really creepy when you say it that way.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird. Let's never do that again.
No. I had a grilled cheese with my son at lunch, so. But then Saturday night happened. So your sister hung around for a little bit just to help us like get set up and all that kind of stuff, and because she was waiting for her boyfriend to arrive. So I was fine and all that. And then she left to go wander, and I was like, okay, great. And then me and Brennan proceeded to be busy for the next 4 hours. And there's only, I remember twice that we got a slight breather. And one of those times, Brendan asked me to go get more water for our rinse station.
Oh.
And the moment I left, Brendan got hit.
Panic. Steve came back 5 minutes later, and I had 7 empty cans in front of me. No time to take them back, and I kept grabbing new ones. And there was still 3 people in line. I was like, "Oh my god! Okay, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Yes, no time to chat. Stand over there. You can talk to me if you want." But...
So yeah, put down the rinse station. Take like 4 cans back. Go help like clear the line, and then like clear the rest of the cans as soon as I helped like the next 2 or 3 people. Like it was just nuts. So. It was that, and it was during the game when the last couple minutes started. There was a little bit of a lull there because everyone was watching the big screen. And spoiler alert: Toronto remains sad.
I don't think that's a spoiler at this point. By the time this is released, that'll be 6-day-old news.
I guess, but yeah, no. There's we had a few people in. Toronto jerseys come by afterwards and be like, here's your commiseration drink. Don't worry, it's a good beer, but like that was heartbreaking.
That's when you sell them the peachy. It's just peachy.
We were out of peachy by then.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Should have brought more then.
No, we weren't out of peachy by then. We ran out of peachy almost right at the end.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, it was a little bit closer to the end, but so we did overall. I haven't been able to weigh the keg yet. We did over the course of the 2 days 14 cases of beer, which is like a high point. And I estimate between 25 and 30 liters worth of beer out of the keg.
25
because the keg was very close to floating. Like it had enough weight that it was still like it was very like bouncy. Like there was a lot of the.
It's going to be closer to 50 then, because I'm pretty sure we went through half of it on Friday alone.
Yeah, like it was light. It was a light keg by the end of the night. Like there's still beer in it, and like it was funny. Who was the guy who came back multiple times because he really loved it?
I can't remember his name, but it was just a dude.
Well, there's a second guy, but I'm trying to remember if it's the Friday night or the Saturday afternoon.
Friday.
It was the Friday. Okay, so yeah,
there's the guy. He said that he's not even a beer drinker. He's a whiskey Scotch drinker, and he kept coming back for the red ale. It was really good.
And then our friend, because we still haven't gone out. It's another thing we should go down and do, but it was the what's the one out of Okotoks? Beaver Brewing, Big Beaver Brewing.
Hubtown?
No,
Big Beaver's the other one. There's two of them.
Yeah, I think it's Big Beaver. He came by, so he wasn't working the show on Saturday night, but he was out with some friends and all that.
It's hard to miss him. The guy's like 6'9" or whatever.
Yeah, he's tall. So we gave him a couple of the beers. He actually really liked the red as well, and he came back twice during. So it started with us near the beginning, and he's like, "Oh, how's it going?" All that. We're shooting the shit. And by the end of the night, because I'd give him a couple free drinks, he was drunk. Like, holy crap. Like, he was like again, that tall man, and he's swaying a little bit like a big tree in the breeze. But he really liked the beers and all that. He liked, actually, the peach Kolsch is what he really liked as well. So, it was fun to see him. But the funny thing, though, so at the end of the night on Saturday, that's when all the people who had tickets to burn were trying to burn tickets. So like we kept on trying to like direct them towards like the empanadas and all that kind of stuff. I was like, yeah, go get those. But essentially, last call was 9:45, and it was 9:45 for 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was 9:45 for a while.
Yeah. So because Brennan cut it off at one point, close to 15 minutes past 9:45, and we hadn't been like stopped or anything like that, and so we still had a huge line. I'm like, okay, no, let's keep going. Like, let's get what's rid of out of the buckets. But we kept on going, and then eventually, like, I looked at the time, and I'm like, holy crap, it's 5 after. We have to stop.
Yeah, it was interesting because we didn't have the people coming around to basically shut down the pouring like they typically did. We kind of missed that. And then you just get kind of caught up in the last call rush, and you're pouring, and then you lose track of the time. So,
yeah.
But anyway, that was an interesting and panicked finish to the night.
Yeah, and so as a result, like, because again, like you keep the same box at these shows from the Saturday afternoon, which we had done really good. Like I was like shaking it all the time, like trying to make sure all the tickets are settled nicely. But that Saturday night, like, the last like hour or so, we had trouble getting tickets into the box, like trying to stuff it in. Like it was actually taking like legitimate effort to like make space out near beside the hole so then we could stick tickets in. So I think we might have done pretty good numbers, I think, by the time everything's counted and all that.
Yeah, so it was a good show. Always fun to do those shows. Talk to a bunch of people out there and kind of get different opinions. So
yeah, Beerfest is always fun. Did you guys do the after party at all?
No, Tila went though.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. So we'll have to ask her and see how it went. But it was it was sponsored. I thought originally they were going to do Cowboys, but no, it was at the Beerfest thing.
Yeah, that's what I told you on Friday. And you're like, no. No, Steve, why is there loud music coming from that corner?
why is it coming from Cold Garden?
Yeah.
So yeah, they started that up and they were ushering people towards their sort of thing. Yeah, we kind of, because again, we went late. We actually didn't. That's the other thing. We didn't do tradesies. We had no time to do tradesies.
No time for tradesies.
Wow. So
no one else came around for them either?
Actually, no. Brendan, who came by and was trying to bargain with us?
For trades?
Yeah, Citizen.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, no, but it was funny. So they came by and they because they recognized us. And I think I recognized the one girl. Like, I've seen her at the shows before. And we're like, oh yeah, here's a pour or whatever and all that. And then she was like, let's do tradesies. And she was talking to Brett.
I was like, great. Like, okay, great. What do you got? They're like, well, we have our stout, our pilsner, our craft lager, and our Czech style lager. And I was like, Citizen Brewing came to the show with a stout and 3 lagers. She's like, well, one of them's a pilsner. I was like, that doesn't help. Go on.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're like,
where's your, like, I love their IPAs. Like,
yeah. Where's your IPA? Where's your pale ale? Like, where's any of that? So yeah, that was the only person that like came by at one point. But again, it was super busy. It was a sold out show, and by the time that like we were done, like the people beside us, because we had the Moonshinery beside us, They were basically packed and almost out of there by the time we were starting to tear down our booth. Oh, wow. And a lot of people got out there fast. It was nice though, because there's not all of that construction going on in the area now. It was significantly easier to get parking.
The road construction was down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, but also the BMO Center construction there. Mm-hmm. So we were we waited a little bit because me and Brendan were just like, take a moment and relax for a second. Yeah. I went and got like the checkout stuff or whatever to get into the back there. There wasn't a huge line. There was only 2 cars ahead of me. And then I was able to park in a relatively open area, pretty close to the entrance. And it was just like, or it was by the exit. And basically like message Brendan, like, yeah, SUV's here. Let's start loading up. And it was good because Brendan didn't bring his truck. Brendan taking transit.
Why would I? The train goes right to the BMO.
Well, it's a good thing that someone brought their vehicle, and that apparently it all fits in the vehicle.
Whatever. I took transit to the afternoon show. If it had been a panic, there was more than enough time to go home and get the truck.
True. Yeah, true. But we were able to load up fairly easily. And help clean up a couple people who had spills. One guy had a thing of Pac-Tex, like a cooler of Pac-Tex, just explode everywhere. So that was pretty easy. And as we were moving out, Tool Shed had a double stack of, I think they've got their 30-liter kegs or whatever, with a bunch of like chairs and other stuff that was on top. And that like fell and there was kegs all over the place. But it was really nice because there's about 6 people nearby, this guy with a pallet. So we were able to like put almost everything back on and like help stabilize it within like 2 minutes of it falling over. But it was easy getting out of there. And then like we just like went and found a quiet spot and had a beer.
Nice.
So all a good show. Look forward to the next ones.
Yeah.
Which are going to be sooner than we expected.
Yeah, we had a few people come by and talk to us. So, what's the first one?
I don't know. Is it the zoo?
Yeah, it's the zoo.
Okay. Yeah, the zoo. We're going to be at the zoo.
We're going to go to the zoo and serve beers.
June 7th in the afternoon, they're doing an adults only kind of, I think they're calling it Zoo and Brew or Brew Zoo or something like that.
Zoo Brew.
Yeah.
So we'll be, Steve and Rob, I should say, will be out there giving samples as part of that event and set up. No idea where you're going to be set up, but hopefully close to the tigers or the lions or the snow leopards or one of the cool cats, and not close to the monkeys.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the spot across from the Asia thing. That's like usually where the gardens are, because that's like the most boring spot there. Yeah. But buy one of the exciting animals. Fun.
So anyway, they'll be there. It looks like a great event. We've never done it before. It'll be exciting.
We got sent the offer, so like we're on a list somewhere, or someone thought of us, so that's awesome.
And then the other one will be later in June on the 22nd. We're going to be in Olds for the Olds Beerfest.
Yeah,
which looks like it'll be a ton of fun as well. Another similar event. So anybody who's up in that part of the world, come on by.
Yeah, come say hi. We'll be slinging beers, and then I think I'll probably go pass out at my parents' place in Didsbury afterwards. Be like, fuck it, I'm just going down the road.
And then then they'll have a little bit of a break before Oktoberfest in August. So
yeah,
that's right.
So lots of shows on the road here. Always lots of fun.
Yeah, it's just I'm glad we're being asked to go to these shows, so it means our profile is slowly getting bigger and better, which is awesome. Yeah.
Well, if anybody had any other shows that they wanted to let us know about, or if they wanted to tell us about Calgary Beerfest or any of the ones they've been to recently, how could they get a hold of us? Rob.
They can hit us up on our website at solutionsbrewing.com. There's a contact us page there, which sends us an email, noproblems@solutionsbrewing.com. And of course, we're available on social media, primarily Facebook and Instagram, at Solutions Brewing Co.
And by primarily, he means exclusively?
Pretty much, yep.
And with that, I think we're done. Oh, the only other thing I was going to bring up is I was checking through my old records here, and I think we're right at our 3-year mark for this podcast.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So happy birthday,
podcast. I can't remember how many episodes we were at, like over
130 some.
131 like episodes.
Yeah, we're getting close to 150. Yeah, somewhere.
But yeah, May 2021 is when we started doing this. So it's been a fun ride. Hopefully, we can keep yakking at each other and recording it and putting it out into the void. So,
for our tens of listeners who have been very loyal to us, thank you so much for listening. And I guess we'll talk to everyone next time.
Yeah, take care, everyone.